Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm just going to give it a minute, see if anybody jumps on. Hope everybody is having a fantastic day. I am. It is sunny and shiny and bright out and warm, which is great. I also have I put my hummingbird feeders out. I have one right here in the studio. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it's too bright. You can't. Anyway, it's right in my window where I draw, and I see my little hummingbirds. So I love that. So I was going to jump on. I'm just going to give it a couple more seconds, minutes. Tell me how everybody who's watching is doing. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. Hope you guys get outside. Hi, Sean. Hi, Kathy. Hope you guys get outside today. It is really pretty out, really nice. And I think it's going to get yucky again. So while I'm waiting, I'm actually going to post a little something in here. Anyway, okay. So I wanted to announce our stick figure contest winner. It was so much fun, and I loved what everybody did. You guys were awesome. So, but the winner of the stick figure, doing great today. Good, Kathy. Me too. It's a fantastic day. Tonight I get my grandchildren, and I get them for the entire weekend, which is awesome, but I'm going to be so tired. So I'm trying to take it easy and slow into my day because I'm going to need all of my energy for tonight through Sunday. I think Gianna's 6, and I have Mikey is going to be 3. So I'm not used to having the little babies around, but it'll be fun. But okay, so the stick figure contest was awesome. Everybody did a fantastic job, but the big winner was, hang on, let me pull it up. It is Modest Stickman by Megan S. And I will actually post that in the link here. So she gets to choose between, she can choose a class with me, one evening class, or she can select a print off of my website at nikkym.art, or she can get a dollar amount off of a commission piece if she'd like to have one done. So Megan S., you're the big winner. I will post the link to the picture of her stick man, the modern stick man that she did, which is really cute and clever. I'll post that in the comments here for the live so everybody can see it. The other thing I posted this morning was I went to Hyatt's yesterday and Michael's, and I also put an order in for Dick Blick, and I got some supplies. So I got various different pencils. I got some colored pencils. I got a couple of pastel pencils, a couple of paintbrushes, and pan pastel, and a couple oil pastel sticks. Now, I'm not used to pastels, so the oil sticks were not that expensive. I didn't invest in those, but they can be. But everybody was kind of guessing the cost of what I had posted, the picture that I had posted. And the person that came the closest was Allie. She guessed, I think, $128, and the actual total price for everything was $124.34. So nothing to win, just bragging rights. She just guessed right, so that was kind of fun. I wanted to mention before I jump off that July 17th, I am doing a class on how to render realistic eyes in charcoal and graphite. That'll be at Imagine That Alcott at 6 p.m. to probably 8:30 p.m. The class will be $40. And I take you through the start of an eye all the way through to the end of the eye, so you can learn how to render them so they look super real. I give you all my little secrets and tips that I use, and you will be amazed that when you go home, you'll have a pair of eyes that you did all by yourself. And you can take those tips and tricks and put them into any other drawings that you have, even animal drawings. The eyes tend to be very similar in what we do. So it's something that you'll have to use in everything. And if you've never drawn before, that's okay. You can still come, you can still do the realistic eyes, and it's awesome. The other thing, and Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, I have the realistic hair class at Queen City Fine Arts. So I think I only have 2 or 3 people signed up for that. And if I don't get enough, I'll have to cancel it. So if you aren't interested in that, you can comment me here. You can drop me a comment or message me and let me know, because if I don't get enough people signed up, it's not worth me driving all the way to Buffalo. So I end up canceling the class. So I hate to do that if somebody had planned on just kind of coming that night. Sorry, my dog. So that's Tuesday I believe it's at 6 p.m. But again, I'll drop the link in here so you guys have that information for sure. Before I jump off, I wanted to give you guys some tips. Now, I know not all of you do art and not all of you draw, but if you were to pursue it, or even in crafts, even if you do like the coloring's really popular right now. One of the questions I get a lot from people is, how do I keep my drawings really, really clean while I'm drawing, especially with charcoal and graphite, because it's such a messy medium. So I have this lady, and she's my practice lady, so I don't really worry about keeping her super clean. She kind of travels with me to all these different classes I do, and I demo hair and eyes and lips on her. So she's kind of worn out, but I wanted to show you even though she travels with me everywhere and stuff, you can see how kind of clean the paper is. Like, I don't get a lot of fingerprints and stuff like that on my paper. And the reason why is it's incredibly hard to remove it if you do. So we have oils and things in our fingers, in our skin, and when we touch our papers, the paper absorbs that. And once that oil gets on there, it's, like I said, it's really hard to get rid of, and you don't notice it really until you go to render, until you do your values and your shading. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, what is on my paper? And it's really difficult to work around that and remove it. You can, but it's tedious and it takes time. So you're better off keeping your work clean from the start. So a couple things that I do. I always wash my hands. I'll give you, these are like common sense tips, but you'd be surprised how many people don't realize to do them. Always wash your hands before you're going to do any work. And wash your hands frequently, because you will transfer from your hands onto your paper oils, also graphite and charcoal. Even if you're working in watercolor, you can get watercolor on your hands, and you go to touch your paper and it can transfer to your watercolor drawing or painting your paper. And that's difficult to remove. So always just constantly wash your hands. Sometimes if it's a really messy project, I actually will wear gloves, but that helps with oils, but it's not going to help with the transferring of charcoal or graphite. If I get charcoal or graphite on my glove, I'll still transfer it onto my paper. So something I do, it's kind of hard to see on here, but I take Scotch tape, and I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see the shine, the little box, probably not, but I'll show you. I put Scotch tape on my drawings in certain spots, and I touch just the tape when I'm handling my drawing, and I put it all the way around, so that I'm not touching my paper, right? I know it seems kind of silly, but it actually really works. I also, if I'm going to touch my paper, like hold it up or something, I'll do that. And I can touch the back, that's okay, but I will hold it this way. So Scotch tape works really good. So what I do is I take if I was doing a new drawing, I just take some regular tape, pull some off, and I figure out like where I'm going to put it. Now, something you can do so it doesn't tear the paper is you can rub the tape onto your skin so that the oil on your skin like dulls the stickiness of the tape. So it's not quite as sticky. And then you can apply it to your paper. And I try to always apply it where the drawing isn't going to be. So if I have margins or something, I would apply my tape in the margins. So all I do is I have a little bit on this side and a little bit on this side, and I do like that. So now when I pick up my drawing, every time I pick it up, I want to grab it by the tape so that I don't get my fingerprints and transfer anything onto the good, clean paper. That'll help keep it clean. And I do it, like I said, I do it around the perimeter in a couple spots so that if I'm going to move it as I'm drawing, I have another spot that's anchored that I can grab it at. So you'll always have those, okay? So that's something I do a lot. The other thing you can do, this tip came from J.D. Hilberry. He is an awesome graphite charcoal artist. I have taken I've gone to 2 of his workshops, and I learned so much from him. So if you ever have a chance to go study with him or on his website, he also has tutorials you can buy. Do it because he's awesome. One of the things he showed me, which is so clever, I love this. You know how when you're drawing or painting, and a lot of times you'll grab a sheet of paper. Let me see. I'll just take this because I don't have anything right now. You'll grab your paper and you'll kind of set it over your drawing like that, and you rest your hand there, which is fine, right? If you're working in a certain spot. The problem is when you go to move your hand, you don't always remember to move the paper. So sometimes, especially if it's a bigger drawing, we tend to rest our hand down as we're drawing, and we're not always moving our paper with us. So one of the things he showed us is you take a little piece of scrap paper, just whatever. You take some tape and roll it like that, and you stick it to your scrap paper, just like this, right? And then let me see if I can do that, show you. Then you set it down, set it here, and you just hold your pencil, right? And do it like you're going to draw, right? You just lay your arm down. Now, this will travel with you because it's taped, right? So every time you lift up your arm to move wherever you're drawing, it's with you. So you're not taking a chance on getting oil or dirt or anything like that from your hand and transferring it onto your paper. Super, super, super cool tip. I love this, and I tell everybody about it. Sorry, JD, but it's pretty awesome. But again, check him out. He's amazing. But that works really, really well. So now I can just draw wherever I am, and it's going with me. Here's something else to remember. When you're drawing too, sometimes we use tools, right? And we grab something and we'll just go to lay it down on our paper. So the problem is, say we have a ruler and we want to draw a straight line, and this is for watercolorists and everybody. The problem is that somewhere along the line you use this and you set a pencil up against the edge or a marker or whatever and drew with it, and it left graphite or marker or whatever medium you had on pastel on the ruler. So always, 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 before you lay it down, any tool, whether it's a template or ruler or anything, wipe these down. That way you don't take any kind of chance on getting anything on your drawing. So you can see the stuff that's on there, the dirt, right? So I do that. Just get in the habit of doing all these little things, and you won't have issues with your paper getting so dirty and getting stuff on it. The other really great thing to have, that if you're going to be drawing a lot and stuff like that, is to always have a board, a drawing board of some sort, so that you're not constantly touching your paper. Okay? Yeah, the tape works good, but we shouldn't really be touching it all the time. So if you just pop this in and use your board. So anytime you're carrying it or moving it, and I have a lot of these boards. I have these fancy boards with clips. I have just regular, even foam core. Foam core is great too. I have foam core that I'll put drawings on, and I'll tape them down to. Anything like that you can now touch the sides of your board rather than your drawing. Okay, so it won't get dirty. The other thing too that you want to do when you have a board like this or any time with your drawing is take a trace paper is great. You take some tracing paper and lay it right over the top. Just lay it right over the top. Cut yourself a sheet that's the same size as your drawing. So you pop this under here and under here, okay? And then we're just gonna rip this off because trace paper is pretty cheap. We don't have to worry about, you know, the cost or anything like that. You can use regular paper too, that's fine too. So we're just gonna tear this down here, set this off to the side, and now we have a cover for our drawing when we're not drawing. So this is super important, especially at home or if you're gonna go to a coffee shop. And then of course I always tack it down in 2 spots so that the wind, when I'm carrying it outside or anything like that, the wind doesn't flip this up and expose my drawing to the elements. But this is great for coffee shops, anywhere like that where you go to work, even at home, and you're setting it aside to take a break. I have cats, so cats could walk across my drawing, which has happened, and leave marks. Babies, you know, with spilling something. Myself, I have spilled wine on drawings. So always have a cover over it. If you can get to the drawing fast enough, it'll be enough to prevent that whatever spilled from penetrating all the way through really quickly. It'll give you enough time to react. But it does just kind of help keep, like I said, if a cat walks across it or something, it does help keep any footprints and things like that off of it. Or if they like to sleep on them, because that's what my cats like to do. But those are some tips for keeping your stuff clean. When you do see a smudge or something on your drawing, take your kneaded eraser. Everybody should have one of these. They're amazing. And just dab it up, right? You don't have to like erase it and go crazy. Just dab it, dab your smudge up, and that'll help take care of it. I hope that helps everybody. Let me know in the comments if you have tips or tricks on how to keep your work clean, especially when you're not working on it. I think more happens to our stuff when we're not near it than it does when we're actually have it out and using it. It's crazy. So I can't tell you how many times I have had, before I started all of these techniques and got in the habit of doing them, how many times I've had stuff get ruined because I left it out, or I just, you know, didn't realize my hands were dirty. Simple things. Like you wash your hands and put lotion on, don't touch your drawing. Give your hands time to dry, right? Lessons learned the hard way. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. Congratulations, Megan S., on your win. I will contact you to see what you want to do as far as your prize. Thank you, everybody, for voting and playing along. I really appreciate it. Monday, I'll be announcing my next fan appreciation. So that'll be Monday morning. And that's it. I hope everybody has a fantastic Friday. Bye-bye.